Hi, I'm Reuven Lerner, and this is my Python Standard Library Video Explainer series. This time we're going to talk about one of my favorite data structures, or I'm going to start a few videos about one of my favorite data structures known as the set. So, the basic idea behind sets is that it's like a dictionary without values. That's right, it's an immoral dictionary. Okay, anyway, the idea is that whatever you can use as a key in a dictionary, you can use as an element in a set. Let's see how that works for creating sets and then adding elements to them. So if I say here s equals curly braces 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, because I have curly braces but I don't have a colon there, this is a set. Okay, so far so good. There are a few other ways that I can create sets also. I can say, for example, s equals a set of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Notice here I am giving it an iterable, and I'm putting that inside parentheses after the word set. And sure enough, if I say now what's the type of s, it's a set. And if I look at what is it, it's exactly the same thing as before. So there's no difference really between creating a set in this way and creating a set in this way, although the kind with the curly braces is considered more modern, and I'm pretty sure it's a little more efficient as well. All right, but so far it's not obvious what the big deal is with sets. Well, the thing with a set is it guarantees that every element will occur once and only once, or I should say 0 or 1 times, maximum of once, as with a dictionary's keys. So basically if I say here s.add, because I want to add an element to my set, and I say 10, well, the set hasn't changed. It still has 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. If I say s.add of 20, and s.add of 20, and s.add of 20, and I'm really serious now, s.add of 20 actually doesn't change things at all. Each element can be there a maximum of 1 time, whether Python sort of stomps on the previous value and just replaces it with a new one, which is identical, or if it sees that it already has it, it doesn't do anything. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, you can be sure that each thing exists once and only once in a set. So you can add a new value by using add. But remember what I said, that a set is sort of like the keys in a dictionary. That means that everything there must be hashable. So if I say my list equals 10, 20, 30, and then I say s.add of my list, it's going to say, no, wait, you can't do it. You cannot add a list as a set element because sets are not hashable. Indeed, that's exactly what Python tells us. All right, so you can have, what can you have inside of a set? Well, you can have, of course, none, not that interesting. Booleans, not that interesting. Integers, getting better. Floats, yeah, for sure. And strings, we often put strings in there. And even tuples, so long as the tuples don't have any unhashable type inside of them. You can even put your own objects if you want to. And we'll see a few other things as I go through the standard library that can also be put inside of a set. But for the most part, I would say it's numbers and strings that we put in sets. Maybe objects also on occasion as well. So if I want to add a bunch of things to a set, what I can do is I can say here, to add equals, let's say here, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And now I say for one item in to add, and now we can say s add one item. And now if we look at s, we've indeed added a bunch of items. Notice there was some overlap here, right? The original version of s had 40 and 50. So when we did an add of 40 and 50, it ignored us completely. It's okay, I'm used to it. And then it just added 60, 70, and 80 when we got to those in the list. And so we end up with this set. What if I want to create an empty set? Aha, well, if I say s equals curly braces, guess what I've got? That's right, it's a dictionary. So empty curly braces give you a dict. So if you want an empty set, you have to say s equals set, the word set with parentheses, and now the type s is that, and s. And now if I say s.add of 10, now it's going to change how it looks to use curly braces because it can. This is just, of course, a historical thing that because we've always used curly braces for dictionaries, then, well, we're sort of stuck with that. So what if I, though, let's go back to s equals 10, 20, 30, 40. I want to add all those things in to add. And it's kind of annoying that I have to have a for loop there, right? Maybe I can just add them all at once. So I say s add of to add. Well, of course, that's not going to work because it's a list. And that wasn't really my point anyway. I don't want to add a list of integers. I want to add all the elements of to add. Well, that brings us to a different method. We'd say s.update. And s.update of to add. So this basically runs a for loop on to add, adding each element. And so now if we look at s, sure enough, we've added the new things. Once again, the set guarantees that each thing can be there a maximum of once. And so we've added all these new things and we end up with a set. Notice that both add and update are methods that modify the set. Sets are mutable. And thus, when we modify the set, it changes, but we don't get anything back. It's not like I can or should say s equals s.update of to add, right? This is, don't do this. you'll get none back. All right, so you don't want to do that. You just want to do s.add and s.update. All right, that's how we can create and add to our sets. I hope you enjoyed this explanation. Please be in touch if you have comments, questions, thoughts, and we'll continue talking about additional set methods and capabilities in the next video.